Last day we have discussed about how to do editing. Today we'll see major discourse which is having 10 marks in your question paper. And today group A, that is paper 1 major discourses will be dealt. I'll give you a general understanding of the discourses and afterwards each discourse will be detailed in the coming classes. So let us see what are the major discourses of our textbook. First one is, we call it as narrative or story. And how to write, how you will be given marks. That's what first I would like to say. First of all, we should have a sequence of events and also there should be dialogues. And while we are writing, the second point is that we have to evoke sensory perception and image. Then in the narrative, we have to evoke emotions. Emotions of the writer should be clear while the reader is going through it. Then we have to write as the fourth one about the setting and other details. Then we have to use characterization. The characters, the main characters and sub-characters should be clearly explained. Then we have to maintain the coherence. We will discuss about coherence afterwards. Then our point of view, what we wanted to express through our story or narrative should be given there. Then the eighth point that we have to see is there should be well-formed construction of the sentence. Then compulsorily, this is for every discourse, maintaining the conventions of writing including spelling. Then the 10th one is that using proper punctuations. And as it is said, all the indicators which I told you will be giving you 1 mark each. So we should be careful about all the 10 points that we have discussed. Now coming to the second major discourse in paper 1, that is conversation. Comparatively, everyone feels that it's very easy, but actually it is not that much easy. When you are writing, you have to be very careful. First of all, there should be dialogues, and even though it is in the screen, you can see 5 to 10 exchanges. As a major discourse, you have to write 10 to 15 exchanges, I would say. Then the second one is, there should be also a sequence of exchanges. What one says related to that only, the other one should speak. Otherwise, there will not be any meaning at all. Then we have to sustain the conversation with the social norms. What do you mean by social norms? First of all, we have to be polite and you have to show the relationship between you and the one who is speaking. So we have to use such kind of words. Then fourth one is, you should use discourse markers. That means we have to use the words like well, precisely, etc. Then the fifth one is using short responses and tags wherever necessary. Then the dialogue should be apt and context. So seventh one is using appropriate cohesive devices. As I told you in the first one, this cohesion we will discuss afterwards. Eighth one, well-formed constructions. Ninth one, conventions of writing. Then proper punctuation, which should be used for everyone, every major discourses. So you are having 1 mark each. Then the third one is description. And what is the importance of description? We have to show, create vivid image, which you should use in the narrative also. And we have to use variety of sentence forms. We have studied different kinds of sentences and descriptive sentences, for example, interrogative sentences, for example, or exclamatory sentences, for example, or even questions should be used while we are writing a description. The evaluator will be checking for the variety of sentence forms. Then naturally, proper sequencing of ideas should be there. Then some personal reflection on the event or on the persons. Description can be of 3: about an event, about a person, and about some incident. And whatever it is, we have to give personal reflection. And one of the question may be like, describe what is what, or imagine that you are Nick and explain your opinion, your feeling about that. So mostly it will be in first person also. Then cohesive devices, already as we said, some of them are mentioned there, pronouns, connectives, etc. We'll discuss that, I told you, afterwards. Sixth one, syntactically well-formed construction should be there. Seventh one is proper word forms, tense, aspects, PNG, agreement markers, affixes. All this we have seen while we were discussing about editing. Maintaining conventions of writing, and this is common for every description, every discourse. And the fourth one is drama script, and that is also, first one is dialogues, and that should be relevant to the context. Second one is describing the feeling and emotions of the main characters, and there should be stage directions, moments and settings, and the continuation of the dramatic conflict. There should be a conflict and it should be resolved, and that should be maintained. Then only the reader or the one who is watching will be ready to see it. Then there should be a proper beginning, rising of the action, and there should be an ending also. And we have to suggest what are the costumes and also what are the words, props that is required. Naturally, you should use discourse markers, then well-formed construction should be there, cohesive devices should be there, conventions of writing, including spelling, should be there. And fifth one is interview. First, we have to introduce, proper introduction and the context, why we are conducting this particular interview. In our 9th class textbook, we have seen an interview with Lakshman, VVS Lakshman, and that can be taken as a model. While he was retiring from cricket, the interview was done. Or coming to 10th class, we will see Wangari Maathai, while she was also given an interview after she got the Nobel Prize. Then a model interview is mentioned in our 4th unit, that is between the Father Gaston Roberts and the Frontline magazine. All this shows the relevant context and also the theme, what we want to express, that should be there in the interview. Then there should be a proper beginning, introduction should be there, greeting each other. Usually we forget to greet when it is required also. So, greeting is required. Discourse markers should be used. Then well-formed construction. Proper and appropriate language. Then appropriate questions. What do you mean by appropriate questions? The questions that are keeping the social norms and also not making the person who is being interviewed embarrassed. Such kind of question should be used. Then framing of the questions with relevant to the response. Appropriateness of the sentences should be there. Then there should be maintaining sequence in the interaction. Why you do the interview should be clear, and there should not be any mistake from your part and also from the part of the interviewee. There we have to be very careful. And there should be an appropriate closing. We have to end the interview in a proper manner. Now coming to the sixth one, that is choreography script. First we have to find out the main theme and the stanza-wise theme of the poem. As you know, choreography is done on poem only. Usually they will be giving the choreography in your question paper itself. Then you can read it. Then what all things are to be added, you can add. Bring out a single and multiple themes of the poem. Identify the sequence of the action and the main characters. Then identify the sequence of the actions of the chorus. Then maintain the proper layout of the script. We will discuss about this choreography in detail while we are dealing each one of the discourses properly. For the time being, this is about part 1, that is first paper, major discourse. I think you understood well. The details we'll discuss afterwards. Now, next class we will be going to part B, major discourses, which are 5 in number. Okay, thank you very much. We'll meet again tomorrow.